Well, hello there again, friends and family. As you can see, we're in the Focus. And we're going to take a little trip down the road. And it may be in this time, or it may be in some other time, long since past. You'll just have to figure that out on your own. And we may stop and look at a few things along the way. That's if they still exist in this day and time. Or if we are allowed to see them in times long past. So if you are of the willingness and adventurism, I might add, to jump on in the Focus and take a ride, maybe back in time, maybe present time, you'll just have to decide as we go and you see. Jump on in with me and let's take a ride and let the adventure begin. Okay? Well, we're going to be starting in present time. Yep, present time being Friday. I believe it's May 13th. The year will be 2022. And we're heading down a little old gravel and tar road beside a very old rail line. Now it's called the CSX. But it's been there ever since Alabama was a territory, and for a little bit, well before that. Running from Atlanta to Montgomery. And it's got a sordid past, one of commerce, one of strife, and one of conflict. Yep. And this road, yep, starts to deteriorate. Because we're headed out also into rural South Alabama. So it's going to be a little bit bumpy. Probably at times it's going to be a little hard to hear the old man. And from time to time, you know, the flux generator will probably kick in and take us back in time. So, you know, if the picture gets a little fuzzy and your heads feel a little woozy, that's just the time flux differential, my friends. So hang on in and hold on. Stay strapped in. We don't want to lose you somewhere in the timeline. Might not be able to find you. Maybe you'll be in a better place in time, or in a worse, because we've had both during our lifetimes. And you can see, we're getting off back in here. Pretty soon, they're going to have to pipe the daylight in. And you probably didn't notice it, except those of you who were in the Focus. We just passed some lowland swamp there, with plenty of them there wonderful, durable cypress trees. Well, looks like we may still be in present time. Yep, there's an incubator. I'm not sure what they incubate. Yep, plenty of wild honeysuckle there on the fences. Hey, I see there's corn growing over there in that field. Hey, yeah. It's about up halfway shin high. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's over to the right. Yep. So, all the food ain't disappeared yet. I'm still waiting on that. We got some bamboo over there on the left, some of that there wild Alabama cane. Growing up, it'll grow up 20, 30 feet or more. Oh, we're about to pass where we were going to go. And the Focus come to an abrupt halt. Yeah, that took me by surprise too. So hey, hang on. Hope you don't got weak stomachs, because the flux generator can make you a little woozy. Here we go, back in time. Yeah, giddy up. Come on, mules. Well, yeah, as you can see, once the flux field dissipates, we are back in time. Yeah, you don't even hear the buzz of the AC anymore in the Focus. Of course, it's only 81 degrees out. As we head her on up this fine state road we're on. Of course, this being a state road back in the year old 1887, most likely. Yep. Yeah, get on, mules. Not much back here anymore. Well, they just ain't came yet. Pretty soon those there people, those pioneers, become settlers, you know, into the new Alabama territory. Yep. There was an Alabama territory at one time. And we're in that time right now. You can look all that up when you get back to our time on Mr. Google. Hey, it gives you something to do in your spare time when the lights are low and you're thinking about breaking down and watching TV. In fact, very close to where we are was Alabama's first ever peach plantation. Sure enough. Back when it was a wilderness, a territory. A man came over from what was then the Georgia territory and brought him some peach trees. Started him a peach plantation right up here at the top of the hill to the left. I hope y'all can still hear me. You know, the bad thing about going back in time sometimes with the Focus is it tends to like to get some of modifications to go along with the back of the time. You know, like wooden wheels instead of tires. Yeah. Iron springs instead of shocks. Yep. A lot of that there Alabama cane up this way. As we continue, well, yep, it's right here. Right here to the left. We'll back up. Somebody's got a gate across it now. Because when the Focus gets to some place of dire interest, it tends to slip back in the present time. You got to watch all this stuff. And see, right here, if we could and if we would, which we won't, because that'd be trespassing, back on in there. Maybe not kind of down this here growed up country lane, but in this general area, I might say, was Alabama's first peach plantation. Surely it was. That guy had insight, because peaches are a big thing in this area, especially up around Clanton. Oh yeah, they got a place called Peach City. They got a water tower. It looks just like a peach. It's rather beautiful. You can see it as you transverse down I-65 either north or south. Of course, if you're going south, we tend to refer to it as down. Hey, that's sort of kind of cool, ain't it? Down home. And, you know, if you're heading northbound, we tend to say up. But, not just, you know, there's nothing to see back there. Back, 20 odd years ago, me and my son went back on in there. Yeah, there was a little bit you could see. You could see where the circular driveway used to be. There was some of the outbuildings sort of kind of left. Of course, you know, they were pretty much all collapsed. Yep. They just collapsed in on themselves. And we did a little bit of metal detecting. And we found us a very old solid silver dime, we did. Yep. Now, I ain't gonna tell you about it right now, but at the end of the video I'll show it to you. See, we're still in our time, because there comes a car. Or maybe, you know, he might have a flux generator too. You never know. They're waving at us, so they might be a fellow time traveler. But no, I can see pavement coming up. I feel a little woozy after jumping out of that there 1800 period. Maybe one day, if you're good, we'll take you back down in there. There are some sights to behold. But we're going to backtrack a minute, because we're actually in and around a very old historic town, one which sadly does not exist so much anymore. Yeah, it was called Franklin, Alabama. Really, it was no more than one of them what they used to call choo-choo stops, you know? Now, I don't even think it had a very big train depot. Probably just a stop to load on cotton and other agricultural crops. As far as I know, Franklin never had no industry. It was just all agricultural. And it still is today. Of course, where we came in on the tar and gravel road, before we went back in time, that was a place called Millstead. And that goes all the way back to when the French came through here. Yeah. French traders, explorers. They came after that there guy, you know, that there Hernando de Soto, that came through this area in the 1500s. Yeah, you know, after that there famous guy Columbus bumped into what would be thought of as America, but you know, it really kind of wasn't the continent of America. Woo. Yep, we're still in modern times. Why? I can see a trash receptacle. Ooh, some of these places out here really look fine now, but I know they go back 100 or more years, but we ain't gonna bother nobody. I'm just taking y'all on a scenic drive in the real rural Alabama. Some of you said you would like to see it, and you've asked, do we have dirt roads still? Oh yeah, you got to drive a little ways. But I live on the edge of rural Alabama anyway, so I ain't got to drive too far. We ain't got no air on. We're doing it just like they did it back in the 1800s. It sort of feels like we're riding on one of them buckboards too. Whew, my stomach's a jostling and my kidneys are bouncing. Yep, coming up here to another four-way stop. You can see that wrought iron fence and those white gate posts over there. And I'm going to show you the house, because it's been there many and many moons. Or seasons. I don't know how long it's been there, but it's beautiful. Let me take you down, show it to you. Well, there's what I'm looking at. You see that fine old house? 3 white dormers up there. Got 2 chimneys there in the center, and one there on the right end. That's a pretty place. And you can tell by the ancient brick, solid black brick, along the bottom of that there wrought iron fence and all that. This place been here a while. Stories it could tell, because once upon a time this was a little crossroads. Yeah, and traders would come by, fur traders, traders of all kinds, all the way back even before Tallahassee. Where I live was actually a city, no more than a trading stop. You know, one of them there trading posts. In fact, Millstead, where we came in on by the tar and gravel road, that was actually a trading post too. And people would come here, primarily the French, and the English too, and in years before the Spanish, to trade with the Creek Indians. Well, as you know, Tallahassee, Talsi, was the capital of the Creek Nation, Native American that is. All this land at one time was not property of the Creek Nation, it was their domain. You see, Native Americans never ever said they owned the land. Of course, then came, you know, the Europeans, which, yeah, they did. Once they got the land, they owned it. But that was then. This is now. You can't go back in time. You just got to learn from it. And if you don't learn from history, past mistakes and successes, well, you're going to repeat it. What I found over my 66 tender years of life, even with that, we as a people, I'm saying man and womankind, tend to use it, abuse it, and mold it to fit our own agendas, our own greed, and our own lust, knowing all darn too well that we shouldn't be doing it in the first place. But anyway, I thought this was a beautiful place. If we see any more, I'll show them to you too. If you can't see them, as we ride along from the Focus. We're going to head her on back this way. I just prefer these old dirt roads, don't y'all? Now I want to apologize for anybody that's getting a little bit moist and sweaty. I did bring along a cooler full of drinks and sweet tea. So, you know, you got your choice, Gatorade, sweet tea, what have you. Hey, I try to be a good host as we're out here on these rides. And I take them, you know, to help loosen me up. I mean, this is better than a vibrating recliner. Come on. Well, you know, I got to understand some of you need that air. So I'm going to kick it on there just for y'all. Now I'm going to try to nose in here where I can show you this place without too much trouble. Yep. We're just going to show you there. You see, that's a pretty place too, ain't it? It's similar, not as big. You can see the two solid brick chimneys up there in the main Rose area there. Yep. I'll bet you that's a sunroom, or was a sunroom there on the right. Even though it looks like azaleas or rhododendrons have grown up to cover the windows. Of course, I am noticing there's bars on all the windows. Yep, that's a sad thing, ain't it? That's modern times for you, especially when you live way out here in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you got to have bars on your windows. See, that's where we've came from. Back when that home was built, and I'll guarantee you it was over 100 years ago or more, probably more like 125 or better, they didn't need no bars on the windows. And the cabin that probably sat there before that house sat there, now it probably needed them, you know, because things did get testy between the European explorers and settlers and pioneers and the Native Americans for obvious reasons. You know, somebody moved in your neighborhood and tried to take your neighborhood over, you wouldn't be real happy, would you? Well, that's just how that all went down too. But that was then, and like I say, you got to learn from those things. That's why I don't understand now. I don't understand what's going on in Ukraine with Russia. They should have just left, Russia should have just left Ukraine alone. and been happy with all the land they got. Lord, they got so much land, Russia does, such a huge country. The vast majority of it don't have a soul living on it. They don't need no more. Develop some of what they already got. No, they wanted to go get what somebody else had. That's just the way humans are. It gets all back to that lust, greed, power. Yeah. I think that was all included in a tablet one time. You know, sort of made it easy for people. Don't do this. If it's on these 2 tablets. Yeah. The 10 Commandments. Ooh, you just think how much life would change. And how much nicer everything would be if everybody, including me, had always lived by the 10 golden rules. That used to be how we were taught. We got to head up on this hill. Folks struggling a little bit. I'm thinking there's at least 2,000 of you in here. She don't struggle that much unless we got a whole crowd in here. And Gloria, I think bear's paws digging into my side. Yep. And Robert, hang the fishing pole out the window. We'll stop at one of these here creeks in a minute and let you do some fishing. Now, I see there's been a wildfire over there on the left. Probably more like, you know, somebody chucked out a cigarette butt. Yeah, that seems to be how those start. More often than not. No. People don't care. Gets back to that one word again that I'm always talking about. Respect. And you can see the piney woods that we're driving through now. Now, you ain't seen many houses, have you? Nope. And the road is of better quality, albeit it's a gravel and tar road, county road, not state maintained. County maintained. Not too bad. In places, you know, it's got its problems. And I do believe we're coming along the community of Franklin, since I saw a police jurisdiction sign there on the right. Now, don't get too excited. Franklin ain't much anymore. It has seen its better days, even though it really never was quite a metropolis. Just a little quiet community in the rural South. Oh, that stretch there was a little bumpy. And a lot of these pines you're seeing here, the little shorter ones, sort of scraggly looking, those aren't loblolly, and they're not longleaf. I'm not sure what kind of pine they are. But they're native to this particular area. Yep. There's the right spot, grocery and package store. Yeah. Looks like the right spot ain't right no more, right? Seem to have quite a few churches back in here. For those of you riding, you know, in the comfort of the Focus, you've been seeing several as we ride on down. Yep, Franklin town limit, here we are. First thing we see once we get in the town limits is the fine Baptist church right there, Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. Excuse me there, throat's getting a little dry. Somebody pass me my sweet tea, please. Oh, appreciate it, Robert. I think Sandra's got some cookies back there she's been passing out. Really do appreciate it when y'all bring along snacks too, you know, cookies, you know, all kinds of sandwiches, pimento cheese, bologna. Yeah, really helps out. Oops. Oh, now we come to some fine road right here. Well, I bet we changed counties. That's what I'm thinking. Yep, we're in Macon County now. But I believe we was already in Macon County. I mean, I'm currently sort of semi-lost. It has been a long time since we've been back in here. But hey, don't fret. The Focus, don't fret. Focus has onboard navigation. Well, yeah, we got to turn it on. And I'm sure all of y'all brought your cell phones with you. So, I mean, y'all can get us out of this jam if I need you, right? Yeah, I'm sure you got that GPS. Or you can just ring up Alexa and ask her, help, we're lost somewhere in rural Alabama. We're hopefully in present time. Yep, I know we are, because we're going over I-85 right now. I thought that's what we were going to be doing. Which means I really don't want to be over here. I want to be back the other way. Well, we'll go down this way, see what we got. You just never know what we got and where we'll go. We're just out riding anyway, having a good time. Burning that expensive fuel, as people will often say. Now, I wonder where this goes. I don't think it goes to a place we need to be. Well, y'all, we're going to turn around. We're going to head her back the other way. Cross back over I-85 there, because that's sort of my area. And now we're south of I-85, which is sort of kind of out of my neighborhood. And like I said, it's just been forever, and I mean forever, since I've been back off in here. Oh yeah, me and my son used to ride these back roads in search of old places, you know, that we found on maps from the territories, you know, way back before Alabama was a state. And we found many of those places. He was really into that history, and it was exciting for me too, because I've always loved history. But James was always looking for that treasure too, you know, that artifact, historic or otherwise. Or those old coins. Yeah, I promised you I'd show you what we found at Alabama's first peach plantation. But we got to get back to the home place. And since we're currently sort of discombobulated on where we're actually at and how to efficiently get back, yeah, I'm sure we'll work it out. Because I can already hear back there fingers dancing on all kinds of keyboards on their phones, trying to figure out where we're at and how to get back home. But never fear, we've got plenty of food. We got plenty of you know, beverages, so we should be fine. Hey, 17, why not try here? how much worse lost could we get? Well, I guess we could get plenty lost. We're gonna do it anyway. Have y'all ever done that? I used to do that when we were young with the kids out riding on a Sunday. We'd do a game called Left or Right. And of course, we'd load up a little cooler with sandwiches and snacks and, you know, Kool-Aid. Yeah. We were poor. And the kids would load up in the back of the Chevy, and off we'd go. And what would happen was we'd get out in the countryside like we are now, and we'd come to a stop sign. Didn't matter how long we drove. You know, we'd have the windows down if it was right. If it wasn't right, you know, we'd have them up with the AC on, like now, because some people back there was complaining. Anyway, the way the game is played is once you come to a stop sign, no, not a traffic light. Remember, you got to be out in the country to make the game, you know, fun and adventurous and exciting. You know, places where you've never been before. So you come to the stop sign, and then everybody would vote left or right. And whoever got the most, whatever way got the most votes, you know, if it was a four-way, you could put in straight or left or right. And we'd vote. There'd be four of us. And if it wasn't a tie, you know, I had two votes. I was a tiebreaker. You know, privilege of being daddy. Anyway, say we all voted to go left. Well, we'd go left. And we get to another stop sign, and we might all vote to go right. And we go right. And this would go on for a couple of hours during the afternoons on a Sunday, when we didn't have nothing else to do. Because if we had something else to do, we weren't playing left or right. We were working. And we just wind up wherever we wound up. One time we wound up all the way up in Kentucky. Yeah. That was sort of a weekend left or right. Mini vacation. The wife wasn't real happy with all that. You see, you get to a place like here. See, we're coming to a stop sign. Imagine that. There ain't no road sign telling us what this road is. But I recognize it. And I bet you will too when we come on closer to the end of it, or to another four-way stop. But hey, y'all voted go left, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go left. Now those of you who ain't happy, because it was a close vote, yep, it was actually 1,100 to 1,232 to go left. So didn't have enough votes to go right. Now we got a little more sun, but as you can see, still partly cloudy, and the bottoms of those poofy clouds are sort of gray and darker. Yeah, wherever they all come together, yep, they'll be having some rainfall. Now, we got a choice. We can go left or we can go straight. Oh, left again? Okay, we're gonna go left. Whew, y'all vote fast. And you can see we're crossing over those ancient railroad tracks, CSX line. Oh, maybe some of you know this highway. We're on State Highway 49 going north. Yep. Woo, she's smooth as a tabletop. Boy, and I'm glad. But in all honesty, as achy as my body's been from working on the property, my joints, my back, my neck, my ankles, my wrists, it's been a workout last 10, 11 days. Woo! Riding around on those there washboard old dirt roads from way back in time was just as good as being in one of them there vibrating recliners that I don't own. And for God's sakes, nobody send me one. I sort of feel loosened up. I don't know about y'all. That was invigorating, bouncing around. So you see, here we are again. But this is a four-way stop. So as the game went, you'd have three choices: left, right, or straight. So let's vote. Let's take second. Yep, it's election. It's an election year, midterms. And you can see all the junky political signs all over. Yep. Okay, y'all want to go straight? Okay, that's the way we're going. I thought for sure there y'all were going to vote right. But I guess you're curious. Or maybe you just want to go to Dadeville or Reeltown. Or some of you maybe remember this here road and know where it goes and where we'll end up. We're climbing on up out of the flatlands, up on to the ridges, the toes of the Appalachian Mountains, as I refer to, because indeed that's exactly what they referred to back in pioneering days. Yeah, they tend to refer to things, more graphically, like parts of the body, the arm, the trunk. You ever wonder why trees have trunks? People have trunks too. It's a curvy road. You'll see a lot of loblolly pine and those native scraggly pine. You'll be able to tell the difference, especially if you were here in the focus. And we got a guy in a Hyundai Santa Fe that, as always, thinks we should go faster than the speed limit. Yep. It only looks like he has one person in his car. And up ahead you can see some pulpwood and lumber wood that was harvested out, I think about 5 years back. It's owned by Georgia Pacific, and you can see all the new pine trees coming up. Yeah, that's that renewable resource. This is a fun road. The kids used to call it the roller coaster road. Now, I did not endanger the children and the wife. Just driving the speed limit. You get a little bit of sway there. And if your car's got a little age on it, and shocks ain't quite so good, you get a little more sway. See, like when you go around this curve. And remember, if we were at Six Flags Over Georgia, we'd all have our arms up and be screaming right now, right? Ah! But then you put us all in a car and everybody wants to go, "Oh, Mr. Tom, slow down. You're endangering your life and ours. You're driving recklessly." Trust me, I'm not. It does look like we might be going faster than what you might imagine. Currently, we're doing 50 miles an hour. And for the most part, Santa Fe has got the idea and backed off a little bit. There for a minute, I thought, Santa Fe was trying to, get friendly with the back end of the Focus there. I wonder what it would be. Half Focus, half Santa Fe Hyundai. What would that be? A Focus Santa Fe or a Santa Fe? Oh, who knows? Why does my mind even go to those places? I was actually wanting to go somewhere else today that was going to be a little bit more further back in time and a little more exciting, but folks didn't cooperate. Nope. the gravitron and the flux generator just wouldn't sync up and take us there. I wanted to, but for safety reasons and security, it decided no. I tried to convince the Focus's onboard computers and AI that I had several thousand people with me. We'd all be fine. It's not real talkative. The Focus just said, "Really?" and winked at me. I hate when its display does that wink, because I know right then the Focus ain't gonna cooperate. And if I turn it back on where it talks to you, not that I picked it, but the Focus tends to be a lady, just saying. Well, I see some fine round bales of hay right there. And like I say, if you notice along the way, everybody's got some pecan trees. Here comes that Santa Fe. Woohoo, 52 wasn't fast enough. They got to do 70 down a rural state road. Yep, until somebody pulls out in front of them. And of course, they become a statistic. There's some more pecan trees right there. There's a nice big one. They're all along the side of the road here. Because here too, this was pecan country. And there's a special place here I can take you to one time. It's called Hidden Lake. It's off here to the right. But as you can see, it's hidden. Now you have to be very special. And you have to promise me you'll never tell or ever bring anybody else here to Hidden Lake. It's just like that magical place where the Big Fish movie was filmed in part. Very magical, very private. Only certain people of a certain mindset can even find it and see it. And if you don't believe it, you just watch the Big Fish. Then you'll know what the old man is sitting here rambling on about. I don't even know how long this video will be before I put it all together. Oh, got another four-way stop coming. I think y'all been here before. Yep, surely you have. Y'all will recognize it. So we're sort of back here in our part of beautiful Sweet Home Alabama. Well, closer. And keep an eye out. You'll definitely see some sights that you'll recognize. And some places y'all love and have been to before. We're going to zip right here. There's about to be a traffic jam there. So the Focus took things into her hands and goosed it. Now, Tallahassee, 5 miles away. Well, that's measured from the center of Tallahassee. And you're going to see something I don't often see much anymore. We got a traffic jam behind, of all things, a farm tractor. Yep, you don't see that every day anymore. It used to be quite common around here, and I'm sure a lot of these people are just getting all tore up, giving that poor old farmer all kinds of vocal encouragement, of the wrong kind, I might add. We got lives. We got more important things. He should pull off the side of the road. And people wonder why we got food shortages. You know, people need to realize less than 2% of America grows, packages, and processes your food. That's the whole 9 yards, people. That just ain't farmers. And he was one probably out there raking some hay. I don't care. Hey, y'all have a drink. Get one of them there fine sandwiches Sandra brought. Or if you can talk Bear out of it, I think Gloria brought some cookies. Somebody brought some tacos. I can smell them back there, but ain't nobody sending no tacos up here to the front. Well, let's just pass when there's oncoming traffic, because it's like the Fast and the Furious, you know. See, I'm waiting. See, I come to a place now where it says you can pass. I'm gonna put my blinker on. Now, hey, y'all watch out. Here we go. There we go. You see, we passed legally, and we didn't risk other people's lives. Hey, look at there. There's our place, Superfoods, on the east side of the river, you know, where they always know your name, and they're always glad you came. Superfoods. Locally owned and locally operated. Yep, I bet that guy's coming up here to rake up all this here hay that's been cut. Yep, feed them cattle. Thank God the hay ain't disappeared. And apparently the cattle ain't disappeared. Even though we haven't seen any day, I know I can take you right here on the right. And there actually is a sign there, but it's pointed the other way. He's got some real fine metal iron gates there and everything. And they raise some really fine black Angus there. Yeah, they surely do. Well, I bet we're getting close to home. What do y'all bet? Now, I ain't got much to offer you today's way of, you know, other than the sandwiches we all brought. Yeah, I've sort of been into a hot dog thing here of late, because I've been working a lot. Hot dogs are easy. You can boil them, steam them, fry them, slap them in a bun with some onions, diced tomato if you want, a little cheese. Oh, you can throw on some hot dog relish, you know, the kind with mustard and dill pickle, mayo, whatever you want. In 10 minutes or less, pretty much, you can have a fine meal. Dump on some chips if you got them. I'm currently out. I ain't gonna pay what they want for potato chips, corn chips, Yep, there's my favorite veterinarian service, Brett, Veterinarian Services. Veterinarian Services to the kitty crew. Spooky, Speedy, Cleo, Gracie, Lilybit, Trixie, and all of them. Fine people. And all the fine veterinarian interns that are there helping out too from Auburn University. And we'll just pass on by the Dollar General that you can't see because the crepe myrtles have grown up. Cover up the sign. They probably need to trim their crepe myrtles like Mr. Tom did. Or maybe they're just trying to hide. Every time I go in that Dollar General, to put it politely, it's a mess. Hence, I don't go very often. Well, at the Bolero, it's $4.29. Not sure what diesel is. Yeah, all of a sudden, by magic, we have a diesel shortage, or so they say. Yeah, I got some strong opinions there based on fact. I looked into that. And if I were to share them with you, many of y'all would see how reasonable my thoughts are on that subject, based on facts, not agendas and beliefs. But I'm not going to go there. Nope, I think I'll just keep it to myself. It really don't matter. Ain't nothing we old folk can do. Just stay prepared and wait it out. There's a truck. They may have just given it up. I'm thinking That could happen to many truckers. Well, you can see we have, excuse me, you know where we're at. Who else lives right beside the cemetery? Mr. Tom. Yep, I see one of the Panthers walking up. That would be Speedy. Checking to see if there's any Biddles. Of course, it's only 2:25 in the afternoon. Yep. We've been waiting for the shade to come back to our workplace, since it got rather, you know, partly sunny instead of mostly cloudy. After we had that little bitty, well, we thought it was going to be rain. Didn't quite work out for us. Here we are, back at the house. Let's all pile out. Well, y'all, like I said, I gotta jump out, put stuff up. Y'all gotta pile out, and I gotta get back to work. You know, won't be here for another half hour or so. The work site and back, where I'm working, will be in the shade. And we gotta get it going on. Yeah, and then it ain't gonna be too long, a couple hours. I gotta feed the kitty crew, indoors and out. Yeah. Just because we went for a relaxing ride today, which I truly enjoyed. And I know some of you'll give me crap. I'm out here wasting fuel. It's costing so much. You know what I'm going to say about that? Where else and what else could you do for under $10? For me, 2.5 hours of relaxing fun. You're not going to see the whole 2.5. Those of you who were with me today for the ride, yeah, y'all got the full experience for the 2.5 hours. Where can you go for under $10 and have such a relaxing, enjoyable time as I have had for that amount of money? I can't even go see a movie anymore for under $10. It would cost me more than $10 to drive to Montgomery or Auburn just to see the movie. Then I'd have to buy tickets. Yeah, God knows I couldn't afford to go to the snack bar. Yeah, I could have stayed at home, watched some more Netflix. Oh, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, YouTube free movies. I could have done all that. Be about as cheap as it'll come. Or I could have read a book. I think, yeah, I got plenty of books. That would have been most cost effective. But I didn't. I wanted to take a ride. I wanted to see some sights I haven't been to, and I know it wasn't much. It's out in real rural Alabama. But there are some places off that road, or the roads we traveled, that are quite interesting. There's not much to see. The history of what they once were is far more interesting than what's left. But, you know, 20 or more years ago when me and James trekked to those places, there were still things to see and adventures to be had. And hey, he always had a great time, and so did I. And you can't take those memories away from us. And I know you have them too. With your kids and your grandkids, your spouses. Cherish the memories while you still got them, because there will come a time in our lives when even they start to fade away. So hey, until I see you on the next video, and Kitty Crew, and Gracie, and Lily Bit too, and all of us, we wish you we wish that you will take care. Please stay safe, and God bless each and every one of you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. Hey, any of you want to help, pile out. Extra gloves in the trunk, okay? Well, there you have it. That's what James and I found, oh Lord, some odd 20 years ago at that very first beach plantation ever started in Alabama. Yep, you can see right there on the date, below the Lady Liberty, 1821. Yeah. And it's a little bit worn. Somebody carried it. Who knows when it was dropped? But for me and James, even though it's not worth all that much, you will find them at auction, depending on, you know, their price and condition, upwards of about $900 or so. Not sure what this one would bring. It's not for sale. But I did promise you I would show it to you. Let me show you the other side. And there's the other side of it. Yep, got a lot of patina. I think that's what they call it. And you don't ever want to clean your old coins. Because if they are worth anything, they'll be worth less afterwards. You want to leave that patina there. That's what those people who collect coins love. But there you have it. That's all we found on that fateful day long ago. And the remnants of once was Alabama's first peach plantation. Back in the days of the territory.